Feels like love, Cupid made a shot.
Hi guys, welcome back. Today we have a fun one. Beetles sent over some goodies and I'm so excited to try these products. Now I've already tried their gel polishes before. Their brushes, I don't think so, to be honest. And their tips is what I'm really excited for. I've heard some crazy things about these Beetle Tipex tips with the Instant Apex, so I'm really excited to try them. They sent me over this 119 piece set. So crazy. 100 gel polishes in this kit. Amazing. So we have 50 classic colors, we have 20 glitters, 20 cat eyes, and we have 10 shell gels. They call their shell thread gels. I would just call them shell gels, which gives that really like pearlescent-y type of vibe. Really cool. So I'm so excited to show you guys this. So let's go ahead. I actually really wanted to show you guys the Tipex. Then we're going to go in, we're going to look at the polishes a little bit, and then we're going to create a fun design. So let's dig in. So the brushes, I'm going to show you a little bit more in the video when we're ready to use them. I think we'll go take a good look at them then at that point. But let's take a look at these Instant Apex. Now, Beetles is not, I don't know, to be honest, you can get it on Amazon or you can get it off of their website. For Canada, we pretty much would have to get it off their website. We don't get a lot of options on Amazon for Beetles. So unfortunately, they just don't got a wide variety. So they do have this specific set. I am personally a stiletto girl. I love a stiletto, but my least favorite actually is a coffin. So I really wanted to see the coffin. I did want to see the stiletto too, but it's all good. They sent me over the coffin, which I did want to see, because if you can turn me to like a coffin, then I feel like, do you know what I mean? It has to be a good nail. Okay, wow, look at that. That is crazy. That is a crazy tip. Look at that. Definitely giving Instant Apex. A little bit thicker, but again, you could always thin that out. Let me take one that I know will be too big, the 00. And I like that they have 00 all the way down to, what are you? 14, size 14? Wow. That's small. Okay, so let's look at this tip. Okay, we're definitely thick, but it's still bendable. So these are acrylic tips. Very sturdy. But this end is quite thick too. I personally would thin that out a little bit so you get a more flush. But just the Instant Apex of it is crazy. I don't think I've ever seen a tip that has such like a natural sculpted vibe to it. That's really cool. And we all want that. Awesome. So fun. So excited to play with them. Okay, let's look at this gel polish kit. This I'm super excited to show you guys. I think this is going to be perfect if you're just starting out and you want a good variety. I love that it comes with multiple gels. So we have a whole kit here, and look at this. And let's take a moment for the bag. It comes with its own little bag, so a little carry bag. You don't even have to worry, it just can stay right in there. And look at them. So they are a 5 ml bottle. It is a pretty tiny bottle, I'm not gonna lie and pretend that it's not. Ooh, that's a pretty one. I've already gone ahead and swatched all of these for you guys because let's keep it real. That would take us forever on here if I went and swatched 100 gel polishes with you guys. But I want to show you what you can do. So they come with these little swatch fans, which is so cool. It's such a vibe. I love it. Like, look at this. Look at all the colors you get. So I just put them back in the container as they were kind of marked down. So from A to E, I believe. Again, and then you can look at how they are matte. You do have to be careful. Again, when you're swatching underneath, I kind of pull the polish. I'm going to show you how one of each will look. Regular amount of coats. But so cool, eh? I love that you get like the little fans. You can just take this out, you can show it. It's so good to be able to create that way too. You can kind of see your colors and know them. And then you can just grab from the case. And it's really cool. You also get two glitter top coats in here, which is really, really pretty. A nice, like, fine little glitter, which I did go ahead and put there. So that is the top coat glitter. It's just literally just a sparkle. And then this is the other top coat, which is really cool. It's like a shell top coat. That's a vibe. So dries tack free. And then you get a peel base. This peel base is for gel polish. So if you'd put that on, you could just peel the polish off. Your base coat, top coat, and these bottles are 7.5. So those bottles are a little larger, and a 7.5 matte top coat. And last but not least, look at the variety of colors though, like for real. What more could you ask for? I think that is perfect. You get primary colors, perfect for starting out and just kind of seeing what you like. Love that. Okay, so let's go ahead. We will take a color from each category. So let's go cat eye. Should we go green? Because that's just the one I grabbed, I guess. And then we can go maybe a glitter. Ooh, you're pretty. Let's go a regular cream. And then like a shell gel. I think these ones are shells. No, that's a cat eye. Okay, so we can just look on here and E887. Oh, you're pretty. Okay, so one of each, and we'll go ahead, we'll swatch that just so we can see the consistency. You can see how it works. And we can talk a little bit about the formula. And here is your instructions for everything you need to know. I'm going to keep that right inside so I have it. As well, again, loving the container or the case that it comes with. You also get a file, a buffer, a cuticle pusher. You get a nice little brush and a dotting tool at the end. Ooh, which is a really fine dotting tool I like. You get a clipper. Your basic nail clipper, but super cute that it is logoed. And then you get a magnet. So let's try that magnet out. Okay, so we have one nail here. Let's go glitter first, because how can you go wrong with glitter? Really pretty. And this one is E875. Oh yeah, you're pretty. This is quite pigmented for a glitter. So I do like that. And you just kind of want to float the glitter so you're not going to get any streaks. Really pretty. Oh, you are gorgeous. Okay, we're going to do 2 coats for each one, so I'm just going to quickly let that cure and then we will go and take a look at it. Okay, now we can go ahead and do the second coat. Ooh, really pretty. That's a nice color for sure. Especially this time of year, going into fall and winter. A nice glitter blue. Oh, you'll get so much use out of that. Look at that. Really pretty. Very even coverage. 2 coats. Nice. Okay, so the glitters are quite nice. I like at least that darker glitter for there. Let's go ahead. We will do the shell gel now. And this one is E887. Oh wow. So this is like an off-white pinky. Oops, painted my finger. I'm just gonna want to float. Okay, it's a little streaky. Let me see something. I think because I'm trying to hold the bottle. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm gonna be 100% real. bottles that small, you have to be very careful with them that they don't tip over. And they do tip pretty easily. So that I'll be 100%. Okay. A bit better. Still a little streaky, but let's just give it a second and see if it self-levels. I'm going to go ahead and cure that and see how the second coat looks on it. Let's look at the top coat consistency. Okay. A little bit more of a thinner top coat, which I don't mind. It doesn't bulk up your nail. Just for covering polish, I think it's perfectly good. Go on the thinner side. Oh yeah, that's really pretty. Well. Okay, let's try a second coat of this. So if you're just going to leave it just the way it is like that, it is slightly streaky, but I almost find that like this style of gel kind of always has that little bit of so-called streakiness to it. But if you were to take like a dotting tool, just take one of the brushes that come in that little thing, which is really cool, and say swirl into your gel, you can create like a really cool look. So that is such a vibe, right? So pretty. Okay, let's go in with E625. It's a nice purple. Ooh, it's a nice dark purple. So this is going to show us how pigmented this polish is. It's not bad actually. Like for a full cover, you're definitely going for 2 coats. I'm not going very thick. You want to be no more than a medium. You can tell that this is a bit of a thinner polish. There is quite a bit of shadowing. It's a little harder to see on camera, but let's go ahead, we'll cure it, and then we'll look at the second coat. The second coat. Okay, I don't see any shadowing with that. Let's go ahead and cure that. But not least, we're going to go in with a cat eye. So how I like to do cat eye, and now it all depends on what you're doing too. But I like to go down with 1 layer cure, and then I'll go in and magnify the second layer. So I'm just going to go a medium to thin consistency. Okay, I see a couple streaks. Let's give it a sec. Not bad. Okay. All the streaks are pretty much out. Very slight streaking there, but you're not going to see that when I go over with the second coat and magnetize. Okay, nice. Decent coverage as well. Okay, let's go in with the second coat. For the second coat of any magnet gel, cat eye gel, I like to personally go a medium thickness, and the reason for this is that I want to put as much particles as possible on the nail without making it too thick to cure or to, you know, be streaky or anything like that. So beautiful, good coverage. Let's use the little magnet that came with it. I'm not that good with these magnets, so I'll test it and see. If it's not working, I'll grab a different magnet because it could be a me issue. Yeah. I really do think that's a me issue. Okay. So I am just gonna go and kind of reset it. And I'm going to bring out my big boy. Yeah, okay, so I would recommend that anyways, to invest in a decent magnet when working with any type of cat eye. Some of those little square magnets, and that could be a me thing too, quite honestly. I don't really work with them. I do like these type of magnets, so you can tell that it does have a nice shift to it. Very reactive. Okay. Very reactive. Oh, look at that. And quickly, I just put them all back. It takes 2 seconds to grab your already swatched, basically, palette here that you have, and to look where the colors go. Okay, this is E705. E705 we just used beside it is E719, and that's why I just did it how it comes. It will come with a sheet of the little numbers for you, and then I just kind of pre-did that because let's keep it a hundo. That's a lot of swatching to do. It took me days. But it is so sick though. I feel like if you have that in yourself, you're getting used to how to work with gel polish. I do recommend, like, so how I swatched these, I swatched on the underneath. Now when you're doing that, you're really not knowing how it really covers because you're kind of pulling it in there. You want it to be full cover on this side, right? And I do matte underneath. So you can see some might have a little bit of bubbling, and that is a me thing because I pulled it in there. So I went thick because I wanted it to be fully opaque coming through. If you were to swatch it over top, you wouldn't have that issue. You would do 2, maybe 3 coats. With these, more likely most would be about 3 coats, especially some of the darker ones. But again, you'll get more evenness if you go over top. So it's just a preference of how you like to do it. And I do like to keep my swatches just in there so that way you have them. I'll put this at the top. Oh, I do need that base coat. Quick fiasco and in a hurry. I'm just going to base coat this guy. Look at that guy. Or sorry, top coat. Base coat. Girl, get your head out of here. I've legit been sick for like a whole week and I'm still not 100%, so I do apologize if this video feels like it's a little all over. But you know, life be lifin'. But I was super excited to play with these, and this green, I'm positive I bring this green in. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to let that cure. We're going to take a quick look over the colors, and I really want to know what's your opinion of the colors. Have you guys ever tried Beetles? Again, being in Canada, it's not really available that easily unless you go on the website. And I actually haven't ordered directly from the website. So hopefully guys, if you're in the States or even in Canada, it might be a little easier to do directly from the website. I know on Amazon in the US, they have tons and tons, which next day shipping, who doesn't love that, right? But for us in Canada, we just don't have a lot of options. Actually, Beetles doesn't have a huge variety for the Canada store, especially their tips. These, the Tipex, the coffin is the only one you can get in Canada. That's why I did ask for a stiletto as well. And I thought I was going to get a kit so I could show you their glue and everything. They didn't do that, which is totally cool. So I will use a separate glue that I had for that thick. Because underneath, you can't use a basic glue because the well's too deep, I guess you would say. I guess that's the better way to say it. To be able to put a regular glue. You want a thicker glue for that. Almost like a gel consistency type of glue, you know, so, or a molding type of gel to get in there so that way it fits and you have no gaps. But I love, love, love the case. I think starting out back in the day, if I go back 4 or 5 years ago when I first started, this would have been a perfect kit for me because then I would have been able to get used to how to use cat eyes and darker cream gels. They do have some light nudies in here too, almost like a bit of a syrup type of vibe. So you actually are getting a little bit more even in the classic colors. They do have a little bit different of the syrups. I feel like there's a couple of the really light nudie ones in there. Again, with the glitters and then the shell gels and the cat eyes. You get such a good variety, and the kit itself, like, look at this. It's all you need. It's all in there. You just grab it and go. You grab your lamp and you're legit good to go. So even if you don't have a big area, is when I first started, I was doing it out in basically like where you take off our shoes in the house because I had a little small area out there. And I was like, that's where I started. So this would have been perfect to have it all together. So say if you don't have a full studio, you just do it at the kitchen table. This is a perfect thing because you can legit just put everything away. It all has a home. You can, you know, stick it under your bed. And then when you're ready to do your nails and practice and play, you just bring it out. So I really love the kit that it comes, like the bag. Super cool. Okay, so here we are. Look at that shift though. Glitter, I would suggest 3 coats of the glitter. I can see a little bit of shadowing right there. So if I really wanted to get the dark pigment of the blue shining through with the glitter, 3 coats on that for sure. The shell gel, it really depends on what you're doing with it. 2 coats is perfectly fine. You're going to get a little bit of transparency, but say if you wanted a little bit darker, what you could do is just do 2 regular coats and then maybe do your effect on the 3rd coat. That would give you a little bit more coverage. So say if you did have a natural nail and you were doing a style of like the Tipex, then you wouldn't have to worry about seeing your natural nail underneath. No shadowing at all in that purple. That purple is flawless. Ooh, yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. And that's a hard color to work with. It's a darker color. So you definitely don't want to go too thick or anything with that. So 2 coats, full coverage. Okay, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Now the cat eye. I think it's quite reactive, to be honest. If you have a good magnet, that is key for any type of cat eye that you use. A good magnet definitely will come in handy. So the magnet provided, I'm going to take some responsibility. I don't use these a lot. I have a ton of them because they come with a lot of things, but I've never found them easy to use, to be honest. So I didn't have much luck, as you've seen, to get any pull, any reaction, but as soon as I brought out a big boy, it started dancing for me. So it could definitely be your magnet and not your polish, so double check what type of magnet, and the strength of your magnet really does make a difference. Look at it just dance though. Oh, that's such a pretty green. I love it. Really pretty all. My only thing is maybe a 3rd. For the most part, I would say it is roughly a 3 coat coverage for some things on here, depending on what you're doing. But I really like it. Okay. So huge thank you to Beetles for sponsoring today's video. Thank you so much. I want to go in and create a cute little, kind of like Halloween, but not scary or nothing, kind of just tipping my toes into the Halloween vibes, and we have so much to be able to choose from in here. So that's already made my decision really hard because I literally have 100 polishes I can choose from to create something really cool, and I'm really excited to try these tips. Again, I'm not a huge fan of coffin shape. I've never been, that's why you don't usually see me wear it. But if I can like these, I feel like that's going to convert me to like a coffin, because, and I think it is, like I need a good apex with a coffin, right? If not, it just looks like almost a tapered square type of vibe. It was never really my thing, so if I can like these, then I think that's always been my vibe. I just need the apex, so I'm excited to try them. I'm going to show you a little bit more of the brushes when we open them and use them. I think that's the best way to talk about brushes, is using them. So we will definitely go into that. I will quickly just go ahead and show you what they all look like, because I've already kind of taken them out and how to play. So just as a quick example, these are double-ended, just so you know what you're going to get yourself into. Double-ended brushes, and not gonna lie, they work quite well. I think I used 4 or 5 of these brushes out of all of them, and I do like that you have a dotting tool. So good little variety, really cute too. Nice little plastic, really cute colors. A jelly vibe. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the nail design. Any discount codes to save you guys, any Moulin Rouge should already have popped up, or if not, it'll be down in the description of the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you made this far. Leave me a blue heart. Let me know, have you guys tried Beetles? What do you think of the brand? I actually was having a discussion about Beetles the other day in our Facebook group Bingo. We play bingo once a month, and we were talking about Beetles, and a lot of people, it's a big brand that people still use to this day. But they started with Beetles, right? So it's a great starter brand. But again, there's people that have done nails for years that find themselves still reaching for them because they do have such a variety of color, and they are actually quite good coverage, and again, a good variety and quite good good quality so far. So for me, I haven't used it much because it's just not that available for me in Canada. So I will give you more of my opinion once we start using some of these gels. All right, let's jump into the art portion of this video. Okay guys, so we're just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna actually do for both hands. I think usually I'm a 4. I feel like this hand is bigger. 5 is way too big. Yeah, I'm a 4 in both of these as well. I think yeah, a 10. And up here, I'm usually a 5. And this thumb is usually a bit bigger. So if I was a 0 or a 1 over there, what was I over there? I was a 1. Oh, 1 actually is fitting pretty nice. Sidewall to sidewall. Okay, we'll do a 1. So same on both hands. So what I'm gonna do is I do want to go down and I want to thin out like the little what do you call that? Cuticle area? Can't think. It's been a minute since I did my own nails. So I do want to thin that out a bit. Not that that's thick at all. It's pretty thin, but when these grow out, I would like them not to have that little ridge. So I am just going to go ahead and file on top very thinly using a 240 grit buffer. And just thin that bad boy out a little bit. That way it's a little bit more flush when it grows out. Okay, so I'm just going to put a paper towel over them because honestly I put them right in my way. I am just going to go ahead and put this on low. Should I? Oh, I should probably just grab my dust collector. List mess. Still keeping those nails covered up though. Okay, so we're just going to put this on low. I'm just going to go over, before, I should talk first. I'm just going to go over my nail very lightly, kind of push back the cuticles. This is a 240 grit sandy band, so it's very light. And just a kind of prep. I'm not doing a crazy prep. I am going to put a peel base on as well before we put these nails on. So I'm just going to get some alcohol and give them a good clean. Now before I go in with my peel base, I'm actually just going to go on with a little bit of D-gel potion. And that is just to keep my nail hydrated. I don't know if that is a good or a bad idea to do that because I do want these nails to last a little bit, but I'm gonna try it anyways. I've never really tried it, but I really like what this does for my natural nail, so I'm just gonna do that. Okay, now I have my peel base. I'm going to use this thicker glue. Again, my apologies for not using their glue, but they didn't send me the kit, so I gotta use what I gotta use. I don't know. So this is a thicker glue, which I'm assuming you're gonna want. But I've never used this glue either, so. But it was a good thing that I bought it because look, I needed it. But I had it, so I'm just gonna try it. So I am just going to run it down my finger to get all the glue on my hat or on my nail. Oh, so much glue everywhere. Okay, no, don't like it. Hold up. We're gonna try this again, leaving the same amount of glue that I had on it. Oh, I feel like it's still doing it. Okay, it's straight, so I am just going to, now I'm gonna fully cure it. But before I fully cure it, I'm actually going to take a wipe. It's not fully cured at all, but I am just going to kind of wipe, not a lot, don't put a lot of liquid on that, but if you do get it on your skin, try to get it off before you fully cure. You can tell it's definitely not cured all the way. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and cure this fully in my big lamp, because that glue is thick and you really want to make sure that it's fully cured. Really, really important. I think it says 60 seconds. I might give it a full, like maybe, you know, 120. Okay, we got a thumb. Nice, nice. Okay, let's keep her going. I think for this one, let's try a little less glue. Just like a good dollop. Let's try that. And I do like to kind of run it down my finger, at least this way that I get the glue all on my nail and it has a good adhesion that way, but I don't know if you can try to do it a lot neater than I'm doing it. Oop. I don't know, I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like I'm not the best when it comes to these thick glues. I don't use it often, I think that's it, so I really have to get my ratio a bit better using the thicker glue. Okay, so Beetle gave us a box of brushes, which we're definitely gonna need. So let's take a look at these. Oh, double-ended beauties. Perfect. Okay. Oh, these are nice. Okay, cool. We have a dotting tool. Those are really nice. A nice, like, a longer one. This actually might really work for what I'm looking for next. I feel every time I take these tubes off, I can never get them back on. Ooh. Looks like a nice little flower brush. That one will go back on for me. A good liner, which we're definitely going to need. Let's see. Ooh, a baby liner. Nice. Oh, that one might work good too. It's a nice, good gel brush. I think this one might work a little bit better for what I'm needing. Ooh, an angle brush. I love me a good angle brush. I like angle brushes for cleanup. We might use that. And then another little liner. Really cool. And a double-ended kind of gel brush, art brush. This might work really nice for the French. Ooh, maybe the big one for the French, actually. Ooh, okay, because I do want to do a French on a couple of these nails, so really cool. Ooh, cool, we have an ombre one. This is like a whole really nice little set. Ooh, look at that ombre brush. I needed a good ombre brush. I feel like, I don't know if maybe I'm just not good with ombre brushes. And then another gel type of brush. So we have I'm just gonna take these off. I'm not good with it. I'm not that good with double-ended brushes either. Sometimes I feel like I mess them up because especially these don't have caps, so maybe I should be keeping those little silicone ends on them. Okay, so these are the brushes that we're going to use today to create some beautiful nail art. So I'm just going to set them on my little brush holder so that way when we need them, they are all ready for us. Beautiful. Perfect. We're going to set that to the side and then we'll grab from that when we need them. Okay, so now I'm just going to go over very, very slightly and make sure I get any of the glue off around my cuticle area. We're not thinning them out really much anymore. We already got them pretty thin, but I just want to make sure I get any of the glue off now. And then we're still going to have to shape and take off the nubs and stuff, but we'll do that with a hand file. We're just going to go around the cuticle for now. And we're doing very low. I have it on 1. Well, you can't see, but it's there. Maybe I'll put it up to 3, 4. So different having nails. I haven't had nails on in like a month. Oh, it feels good though. A little bit of acetone. Get an older brush. I'm just going to use this little old cleanup brush. Make sure it's nice and clean. And this is also going to get any of the dirt out and melt anything in there. Okay, I brought you guys out for a second here. I want to pick our color palette for our nails. So I definitely want to keep this more into the fall. It's actually, I think, was it yesterday is the first day of fall here? So I want to keep it like, not spooky Halloween-y, but kind of getting into Halloween-y, I'm not gonna lie. So I definitely think I want to pull some oranges. So we will pull, okay, so let's just do this. A95 and A97. And I love this. Honestly, this is like the coolest kit. I feel like it's so convenient that it has its own little like bag. So sick. And then when I swatched everything, I did go ahead and just keep them in the order, so I know that all the A's are up top. It's weird how they have that. In my opinion, I think I would put glitter with glitter, but because I just have the swatches and I wanted to keep it like A's with A's, I just did it the way that they did it. So I know that this right here is my red. I want the red, the yellow, the orange for sure. I think I want a blue, but I think that might be a little too bright. Or is that a little too dark? I think this might be a nice one just to give it a little bit of brightness maybe. So that is A53, 538, A538. So we'll take this color out as well. Ooh, okay, okay. What else do we want? Is there any more up here from the A's? Do we want that green? I think I want a bit of a darker green. Yeah, I think I want a darker green. Am I going to want the white at all? Do I want to put a base layer of white down and then put those colors on top? Just so they really pop. Pretty much incorporate, I think, almost all of them. And see how these go. It's still giving me like fallish vibes. I think that'll look really cute. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to base coat everything and then we're going to start with the nail art. The rest of this video will be a voiceover because I'm going to put some headphones on and I'm just going to chill and vibe out and do my nails, which that's what I personally like to do, or watch YouTube or, you know, Netflix or something like that. But I think I'm just going to put some music on in my ear and just kind of veg out a little bit and just get into the nail art. Okay guys, I've done this 20 times and I was wondering, why do I sound echoey? Why do I sound far? I have a good mic. I thought maybe my other mic was messing up, so I switched back to like my good old G snowball mic. Then I realized the device thing was on. The setting was on for the internal mic of the laptop rather than like the external device. Oh god, so annoying. Literally 25 minutes. Anyways, quickly now, because I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to tell you all the good stuff. Okay, so I did go down and I'm going down with this beautiful, I believe it was A103, beautiful orange jelly glitter. It's so pretty. I did about 3 coats because I really want it to be quite opaque. I do want to quickly come in and talk to you guys about the fall sale that Beetles is having on Amazon. I did quickly put it up because I was just a little chatty one and just enjoying all the products, and I forgot about the business part of things, and I want you guys to be able to save some money. So what what Beetles is doing on their Amazon storefront is they're having a huge sale right now. So they're having a lot of different promotional deals. A lot of values are starting at $2.99, $3.99. Plus they said that you can get a couple of free gifts, which is, we always like a freebie. Definitely love that. But they do have a 30% off from October 1st to the 6th, as well as 50% off from the 7th to the 8th in October, which is so crazy. Like, that's such a good deal. And you guys have a really good variety over in the US Amazon. I'm not gonna lie, the Canada one is not the best, but we do have some polishes and stuff. So definitely check them out. Check out your Amazon and see what they have for Beetles. They also gave me a 10% discount code for you guys. Now this is only valid during the fall promotion, so be mindful of that. And definitely see if you can stack them. I'm not gonna lie, that would be definitely a good deal if you could stack them on the already discounted price. Yay, I love that. Okay, so let's get back to the nail design here. I wanted to go in and do something a little bit more whimsical and cute and just getting into the fall vibe of things with a hint of Halloweeny, but I don't want it to be spooky, so we're just kind of gonna do like cute type of nails. I did grab a few different polishes, so I think I grabbed like 8 or 9 different polishes, and I wanted to try to use a lot of the different varieties. So I went down, and I'm going to do French on 2, but I went down with the pearl gel first, and then I'm going to go in with a cat eye for the tip, and I think it just gives it a nice little contrast, and I really like the way that that looks. And they had the perfect pearl gels to match the green and purple in here, so I was like, yeah, definitely doing that. Now let's talk a little bit about the products and how I feel about the consistency and that of the Beetles gel polish brand. So I really think it's nice. It's a thinner consistency, which I don't mind. And the reason I don't mind that, I feel like if you're not an opaque gel, then you please better be a more of a thinner consistency, because if you're thick and you're not opaque, you're going to bulk up my nail time I do that 3, maybe even 4 coats. So you definitely want to be mindful of that. Now with these polishes, there are some areas where I had to do 4, even 5 coats, especially for the patchwork. I did want to work very thin because I did not want to get any wrinkling or anything like that, so be mindful of that as well. But for the most part, you can get pretty full coverage on 3. depending on the color, maybe 4 coats. So it's just about how you want to spend your time. It's obviously more time consuming for you to have to do 4 coats of a product rather than, 2 coats and be done. But you can definitely create any type of design in this, and I think this nail design that I showing you guys actually proves that there is a lot of different like colors in here that usually are a little bit harder colors, like yellows and purples and these type of things. So as long as you're patient enough and to do your 3, 4, even 5 coats and don't mind spending the time with that, I think it's a great brand. And I love the consistency because it is a thinner brand. It's a little bit easier to work with, and again, you're not going to bulk up your nail because you're definitely going to have to do at least minimum of 3. But I really like the way that the design turned out. I think it turned out super cute, and it's just a fun way to see all the colors. Okay, so we have both hands done. I did go over and do the black. I'm going to do the black on here. I am going to use a gel paint for that, just because I did go over and top coat it, just to make sure that it was an even surface. So this gel paint is a non-wipe, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm just going to try my best to go over all the lines, and I'm just literally darkening the already existing lines that are there, just so you can get a distinctiveness that this is going to be like different pieces of like fabric or something like that, right? So we're doing like patchwork, so I definitely want to go in and just give the distinctiveness of the dark lines down to each piece. Okay, so I'm just going to do that on all the lines. I like to go on each side and then work my way in. That way I kind of have an even width between each one, and I'm flash curing in between, just in case. Okay, some little advice on how to do some stitches. Now I like to do 1 each on each end, so that way I can work my way in the middle and kind of have even parts in between each. So 1 on the end, 1 on the bottom end, and then work my way up. I found this way it kind of gives it more evenness. Okay, so I brought out a couple sticker decals. I thought we could make these just to be a little cutesy. So I like the color combo of these ones, keeping with the orange and purples and type of greens. So I'm just gonna kind of, honestly, just kind of play and see. I think I'm gonna put a ghost on this guy. Maybe with some beats. Okay. So let's get a ghost down first on each of those nails. And when I'm doing sticker decals, especially if I'm doing the same on both hands, I like to just do them at the same time. That way I can kind of see. And they don't have to match or anything. But I am going to want to kind of be somewhat matchy. A quick tip when you're putting down sticker decals, besides I forgot a step, which I'm going to show you here in a second, is make sure you use the back end of your tweezer. If you don't have one, get one of these little guys to rub the bejesus out of it. Not good. So I am just going to wipe around. And that's just to get the top coat, take away a little bit of that top coat. And that way the top coat that I want to put on it will stick. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and wipe every nail. A little bit of acetone. Oh, I didn't have to wipe those ones. So sorry, not every nail, just the colored nails. And then it's like, you hear that? It's gonna give it a grip because I'm kind of like melting the original top coat. But I also sealed everything in, so this is another little way. And then when you put your new top coat over to seal everything, it'll have something to stick to. Again, just doing it on the nails that are not the patchwork. Again, they don't have to be identical, and I don't think I really want them to be like crazy identical. And I think we can go with some purple stars on both. Bring in the purple. Okay, pretty thorough. And I do want to stick my finger upside down for a few seconds, like a good 30 seconds, and just let everything pool so I can really go around those sticker decals. Okay, and now we're going to stick that in the light. So I'm just going to do exactly the same thing all around all of these nails. Again, going both ways in between the stickers, so that way they're not getting too much top coat around one side because they are pretty raised. You want it still to be even. And then flipping your finger upside down is definitely crucial. Alright guys, here we go. So that is how they look. I think they turned out super cute. There's definitely a good apex on these, especially if you start adding some like 3D elements. So they will be a little bit raised. With these style of stickers, there's just really like nothing you can do about that unless you put that hella thick. I did go and I encapsulated it and then did a top coat. But I think they're super cute. Kind of just work my way into Halloweeny nails. I love them. Thank you so much, Beetles, for sponsoring today's video. I truly appreciate you. And you can definitely create so much with that kit. Like, the possibilities are endless with 100 gel polishes of all different types. What I mean, cat eye, glitters, cream gels. Yeah, really pretty. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, share with a friend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys!